After being canceled after only 3 seasons, fan outcry led to Longmire being rescued by Netflix for another 3 seasons. But now that it's over, are you longing for more Longmire? These 15 shows will fill the neo-Western hole in your heart left behind by the beloved series. Amazon Prime's Bosch is the perfect example of a show that captures the vibe of Longmire without sharing its Western setting. The series stars Titus Welliver, who sci-fi fans may know as the Man in Black from Lost, as Los Angeles detective Harry Bosch. Not unlike Longmire, the series is based on a set of novels written by Michael Connelly. This procedural drama is structured by case-of-the-week crimes that Bosch needs to solve. Simultaneously, it features overarching, season-long, and even series-long story arcs that weave in greater themes. As the seasons progress, Connelly's other Bosch books, of which there are over 20, are mined for story inspiration. The series wrapped up its 7th and final season in 2021, but fans didn't have to weep for long. The show quickly earned a spin-off. Fans of Longmire are sure to like how Bosch intertwines characters, individual episodes, and big-picture plots. If you've got a hankering for a real Western after enjoying Longmire, go back in time with Hell on Wheels. This historical drama ran on AMC for 5 seasons from 2011 to 2016. The series is set in the years after the American Civil War and stars Anson Mount as Cullen Bohannon, a former Confederate soldier who joins the Union Pacific Railroad. Colm Meaney co-stars as Thomas Doc Durant, a real historical figure who invested in the first transcontinental railroad. Common plays Elam Ferguson, a recently freed enslaved person who becomes Cullen's assistant and bodyguard. The series and the characters move across the country as the railroad is built. This allows for many procedural scenarios. The laborers, surveyors, builders, sex workers, and everyone else who travels along with the encampment refer to themselves as Hell on Wheels, giving the show its title. They're well worth getting to know. In AMC's The Sun, British actor Pierce Brosnan heads to the American West. From that simple starting point, things get complicated, as The Sun likes to play with time. The main setting is 1917, where Brosnan plays Eli McCullough, the iconic first son of Texas. He secures his legacy as a wealthy oil tycoon by killing, threatening, and deceiving his way to the top.
In this life, if you don't move forward, you die.
The Sun also takes the viewer back to 1850, where a young Eli, played by Jacob Laughlin, learns the ways of the Comanche and becomes a respected warrior. The show also jumps forward to 1988, where Eli's granddaughter Jeannie, played by Lois Smith, uncovers family secrets. It's a pretty neat setup, and though AMC only gave the show 2 seasons, it's still worth a watch. The FX action drama, Sons of Anarchy, could certainly fill the Longmire hole in your heart. The series follows the members of an outlaw motorcycle club rooted in the Central Valley of California. Charlie Hunnam stars as Jackson Jax Teller, the vice president of the Sons of Anarchy motorcycle club. He begins to question his role in the club after discovering the journals of his deceased father, the club's former president. Throughout the series, the club is involved in many illegal activities. So while this series may be like Longmire in many respects, the long arm of the law is considered the bad guy here, always looking to shut them down and toss their members in jail. The series also addresses racism in the world of outlaw motorcycle clubs, the role of vigilantism, and government corruption. The Netflix series Bloodline begins with John Rayburn's ominous voice. He says, "Sometimes you know something's coming. You can feel it, in the air, in your gut. And you don't sleep at night. The voice in your head is telling you that something is going to go terribly wrong, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. That's how I felt when my brother came home." As you might guess from this intense introduction, Bloodline is steeped in secrets, crime, and tense reunions. The story follows the Rayburn siblings of the Florida Keys when the aforementioned black sheep of the family returns from who knows where. His presence causes enough tension to kill off the family patriarch. While Longmire might be set out west, Bloodline offers up the same thrilling ambience in a more paradisical atmosphere. Come on in, the turquoise water is fine. HBO's Deadwood ran for 3 seasons in the 2000s, wrapping up years later with a 2019 movie. The show is a historical Western set in Deadwood, South Dakota in the 1870s. Timothy Oliphant stars as Seth Bullock, a sheriff turned hardware store owner. Ian McShane plays saloon owner Al Swearigan. As Deadwood grows from a ramshackle spot into a blossoming town, South Dakota itself prepares for a more official, law-abiding existence. That means cleaning up the rabble. Complex drama ensues, weaving together episodic arcs and lengthier storylines involving government corruption, loyalty, and the early days of American crime. Deadwood is well known for its sharp writing and stellar performances. It has also become known for its incredible amount of swearing. One report counts a total of 2,980 F-bombs dropped during the show's 3 seasons, with one occurring every 1.56 seconds. Deadwood offers up the Western procedural ambience Longmire fans crave, and a degree of profanity so immense it's almost awe-inspiring. Kevin Costner's most recent Western adventure is a modern one called Yellowstone, which makes its home on the Paramount Network. The series follows the Dutton family, 6th-generation owners of the largest working ranch in the country. Costner stars as the patriarch, John Dutton. The drama hinges on outsiders' attempts at gaining access to the Duttons' land, conflicts with the neighboring native reservation, and a whole lot of family secrets. The Dutton family features 3 grown kids, Casey, Jamie, and Beth. Their lives form much of the backbone of the series, encompassing substance abuse, illicit relationships, and frustrated dreams. All in all, Yellowstone is an emotional, exciting, and altogether engrossing drama with Western flair. In short, perfect for anyone who loves Longmire. After starring in Deadwood, Timothy Oliphant traveled into the future some 130 years to star in FX's modern drama, Justified. He plays Deputy U.S. Marshal Raylan Givens. After shooting a Miami mobster, Givens is transferred to Kentucky, where he happens to be from. It's not a happy homecoming. Drama, violence, secrets, and lies ensue, often tangled together. Justified ran for 6 seasons and was critically acclaimed throughout its run. Walton Goggins' performance as Boyd Crowder, a white supremacist preacher who heads up the area's criminal underground, earned particular praise, among other stellar roles. Justified is based on author Elmore Leonard's work, especially Fire in the Hole. The success of Justified inspired Leonard to write another Givens-centric novel, Raylan. The book came out in 2012, shortly before Leonard's death in 2013. Here's where we get a little international with this list. Tin Star is a British crime drama that revolves around a London detective who's tasked with becoming the police chief of a Canadian town in the Rocky Mountains. It's Old West meets Old World. Not exactly a common combination, but as it turns out, a fascinating one. Tim Roth stars as James Jim Worth, the detective who moves his family to Canada to escape his troubled past. The weird thing about this show is that when Jim drinks, he becomes his violent alter ego, Jack Devlin. It's intense, surprisingly fun, and a bit weird all at the same time. Christina Hendricks co-stars as Elizabeth Bradshaw, an executive with North Stream Oil, the company that dominates the town. She tries to balance Chief Worth's presence with the biker gangs, criminals, and oil workers of the town. Tin Star spans 3 seasons, which first aired on Sky Atlantic, then moved to Amazon. Interestingly, however, Season 3, or Series 3, as the Brits call it, takes place back in Liverpool, England. This omits the Western feel of the show, but not to worry, it still maintains its crime thriller ambiance. While some of the shows on this list can get pretty dark and dramatic, Hap and Leonard is one that embraces its humor. This mystery crime drama stars James Purefoy as Hap Collins, a blue-collar dude who spent time in prison, as well as Michael Kenneth Williams as Leonard Pine, a black gay Vietnam veteran. Set in the 1980s, the series takes place in East Texas, where Hap and Leonard team up on a get-rich-quick scheme. Soon enough, they pull ex-wives, townsfolk, other criminals, and lawmen into their fold. The show was created by novelist Joe R. Lansdale and is based on his Hap and Leonard novels. In many ways, it's unlike any other show on this list, blending together comedy, grit, lawlessness, and outright absurdity. If you're longing for that Longmire attitude, but you'd also like to crack a smile once in a while, Hap and Leonard is a great choice.
I do what I can.
We're going across the pond again for this next entry. Though ITV's Broadchurch doesn't have the western edge that Longmire does, its fascinating portrait of a town in crisis will no doubt lure you in. The series is set in the fictional English village of Broadchurch. Here, detectives Alec Hardy, played by David Tennant, and Ellie Miller, played by Olivia Colman, are forced to team up despite the vast difference in their personalities. Season 1 follows their journey as they attempt to solve the enigmatic killing of a local boy. Broadchurch being a small town, other townsfolk soon become involved. Things grow more and more complex in seasons 2 and 3, wrapping the whole series up in a twisty, mysterious bow. The setting of the show provides just as much ambiance as the chilling crimes themselves. The white cliffs, gray skies, and rough seas are basically characters unto themselves. If the mystery aspect of Longmire drew you in, you'll find Broadchurch downright addictive. We're staying in England for this next entry, but can you blame us? The leading man is just that good. In the BBC One crime drama, Luther, Idris Elba stars as John Luther, a police detective for the Serious Crime Unit, which sounds silly, but is official. Luther often gets sucked into the crimes he investigates, especially those of serial killer Alice Morgan, played by Ruth Wilson. The two spend the majority of the series as both nemeses and companions, infusing this dark crime thriller with electric tension. Luther is technically a miniseries, with only 2 to 6 episodes per season, making the entire 5-season series totally bingeable. There was supposed to be an American remake, but it fell apart back in 2017. There is still chatter about a Luther movie, so you best get into it now. Are you up for a little sci-fi horror to go along with your neo-western? If so, Sci-Fi's Wynonna Earp might be right up your alley. It stars Melanie Scrofano as the titular character, the great-great-granddaughter of legendary Old West lawman Wyatt Earp. That legacy isn't all it's cracked up to be. She's haunted by the outlaws her ancestor killed, who take the form of undead revenants. Luckily, on her 27th birthday, she discovers that she's inherited the ability to send them back to hell, with a little help from Peacemaker, her ancestor's magic gun. Wynonna Earp ran for 4 seasons on Sci-Fi before being canceled in 2021. Don't count it out just yet, though. The show's passionate fan base is working overtime to secure the future of Wynonna Earp. If you're short on time and looking for a single-season miniseries to binge, check out Netflix's Godless. Set in 1884, Godless begins when young outlaw Roy Good, played by Jack O'Connell, runs out on his cruel mentor. He soon stumbles onto La Belle, New Mexico, a town run and populated almost entirely by women. As it turns out, most of the men of La Belle died in a mining accident, leaving the town's women to run it as they please. Jeff Daniels also stars as Frank Griffin, the venomous outlaw Good flees from. The miniseries was a hit, earning its cast and crew a handful of Emmy Awards and a place on multiple Best of the Year lists. Banshee captures neo-western style much like Longmire does, with a major geographical twist. Set in Pennsylvania Amish country, Banshee stars Anthony Starr as an ex-con who assumes the identity of the town's incoming sheriff to hide from a powerful crime lord called Mr. Rabbit. When the sheriff is killed, the ex-con, whose name we never learn, swipes his identity and shows up in Banshee, PA, masquerading as the town's new lawman. Banshee earned mixed reviews. Some watchers love it, while others criticize its intense violence and gratuitous sex scenes. So yeah, it's a bit more wild than Longmire, but it still utilizes that same gritty procedural style in a unique setting. The show ran for 4 seasons on Cinemax and definitely lives up to the lurid nature of that network's reputation. It's at least worth checking out. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more Looper videos about your favorite shows are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.